And we're off to Turd Smoke's game 2. This is a closed game, so there will probably be a good deal less to say. Not that my last video lasted very long, but let's look at the rules. It's going to be level 6. Same level 6, keep in mind, often a clunky set where you can't quite combo as much as you'd expect. Same plus wall combo. This is going to favor first turn. Max of 3 8 8 or 8 7s. So if you have two 8 8s, you could only have one 8 7, right? Those are additive. No 7 7 5s, no rares. All right, so let's think about what's on level 6 briefly. We have 8 8 corners. We have 8 7s, the most popular of which I think are 8 7 5 3s, but some people like 8 7 5 2s. There's also 8 7 4 3s, which and 8 7 4 2s, which have really nice play if you expect 6s and 7s in particular configurations. 8 7 4 2s, I think I tend to underrate. There's 7 7 5 4s, 7 7 5 3s, those definitely have some play. The max of 8s means hitting 8s might be less valuable than usual, but removing 7 7s means the alternative of going heavy 7s is not really there. So you still want to be mainly targeting 8s, meaning you want two gaps on your cards, like 8 6, 7 5, 6 4, 4 2, etc. So 8 6 5 3s seem plausible, and 8 6 6 1s seem very plausible. Those are the cards I'd be expecting. I'd expect kind of maybe two 8 7 5 3s, maybe the blank Seal Guardian pair, then either some other 8 7 or an 8 8, and then maybe a pair of 8 6 5 3s or some 8 6 6s. Yeah, that's what I'd be expecting. We'll see what we get. All right. Turdz' first turn. He puts an 8 8 in 5. Now, note that this is plus wall. I wanted to say with no plus wall, which the last game was, this would be a harder opener. It's kind of hard to play off that 1 and 3. If you think about what cards people tend to dump in 5, it tends to be cards that aren't the big corner cards. But you might also think that in a world of 8s, this isn't actually that powerful a sweeper. So maybe you're keeping your cards with more sweeping potential. Anyways, it's an interesting card to drop in 5 first turn. I like 5 starters. It's not a card I'd probably think to put there quick or early, but it's one where Turdz could easily have play in 2 or 4. He might be able to play off that 3. He might have doubled up on this corner, like if he has 8 7 5 3 as well, which is a popular pick on this level. Yeah, decks all, so it is a card available. Maybe? I don't know. Okay, so again, just like last video, because I wasn't reloading manually, it takes a while to reload, and we have a bunch of moves, but just like last time, we can have fun trying to piece together how we could have got here, because I think we can tell you the exact move order that must have got here, because I believe there should only be one move order that can get here. So the first thing to note is every card is smokes. That means if any card the order must be such that any card not touching anything must have been played by Smokes, which means Smokes must have played in 9. And we know, and there are other ways to figure this out, we also know that Smokes must have played in 9 on the second turn of the game. Because if he had played it on the fourth turn of the game, he wouldn't have flipped whatever Turdz played on the third turn of the game. So it must have gone 8 8 3 1 and 5, 7 5 3 8 and 9, which looks to me like a good move as long as Smokes has combos in at least one of 6 or 8, and ideally both. Then Turdz must have gone in 1 because 1 doesn't capture 4, but 4 captures 1. Also, Turdz must have gone in 1 because Smokes has flipped 5, and he can only have flipped 5 from 4. So Turdz went in 1. You can see he wasn't running 8 7 5 3, but there's an argument for 8 6 4 2 because it does a pretty good impression of 8 7 5 3, and it doesn't use up one of the 8 8 or 8 7 slots. But you can also see, and this was something I had sort of thought might be going on, is that if you're going to drop a card in 5 and it's going to be a big corner, it is more likely than usual that you have another card for that corner. Otherwise, your remaining hand is going to be kind of imbalanced. And that immediately turns out to be the case here. Now, Smoke's move in 4, I'm actually a little skeptical of, because I'm really high on sliding, but I'm not sure if sliding was possible. But I think there's a very good chance. We know Smokes had 2, because he played 5-3-8-6, and that has 2. And there's also a good chance he had 6, because he played the card in 9. He's the one who set up those squares. 6 is a decent chance to be something Smokes is a combo in. So we know Smokes' combos in 2 and 6. And one of the great things about going in 2 or 6 is the other person really never occupies the other square. If you go in 6, they are likely to go for a Q in 8 or for a Z in 4. And so you can know that you're going to have your combo square left open. And similarly, if you go in 2, you can be pretty confident you're going to have a combo square in 6. My instinct would be to slide in 6, because we don't know if Turdz is a capture in 8, except we probably do. Because would Turdz have used 8-6-4-2 if he didn't have another way to play 8? So there's a very good chance that Turdz has a card left for 8, and maybe you should be looking to force him to play 6 instead. But 6 isn't near as challenging, because he definitely is going to have an 8 in every direction. The thing I don't like about this move is it flipped 5, and that just makes it so much harder to build combo potential out. And I really try on move 4 in these slash positions not to flip 5. I find that really dangerous. Note, I'd like this move a lot more if we were still in SPC land, but with plus wall, Turdz also has potential. That card in 5, with both of its 8s still facing out towards empty squares, anything off that is likely to have combo potential. One of the things I do like about this move is it gets rid of one of 2 or 4. Smokes has played 9, so he is the only one who has set up interaction in 6 and 8. There's no specific reason to think Turdz has those squares. There is good reason to think Turdz has good play in 2 and or 4. And so getting rid of one of those squares makes a bunch of sense, which leads me to think maybe the best move for Smokes would have been in 2, but again, I don't know his hand. We're just trying to figure stuff out. Okay, Turdz plays in 2. I do tend to think the Q is better than the S or Z, especially if Turdz has any combo play in 6 or 8. This is a possible card to combo, but unlikely with the 5 facing out. Right? If we think through what cards are available, there are 8-7-3-5s. There is Blank. Blank would combo this, and this is a high power card, but we also can be confident neither of them are using it, because no one would run 7-5-3-8 and 7-3-5-8. What else has this? Is there a 5-3-8-7? I think it's a 5-2-8-7. Is there... There's 8-7-5-3, but there's not 8-3-5-7 or 5-3-8-7. The 6-1-8-6 is 1-6-8-6? I think that's a level 6. 1-6-8-6 could hit this. That would be a scary card. But the point is, I don't think a ton of things are hitting 5s. Though it's much easier to hit than hitting a 4, at least. Right? If we see another 8-8 with a 3, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that hits this. But if you have combo play through 5, and actually Turdz doesn't immediately need combo play through 5 if he has combo play through 7. And that's one of the problems with having this combo chain and flipping 5 with high numbers facing out, is you are susceptible to getting chained back. Oh no, it's just going to skip to the end. Yeah, it is. Okay, well, we can try to figure out what happened. So first of all, Turdz won. Turdz won 7-3. First turn is a big advantage here. But second of all, we know Smokes must have played in 7. We had a Q. I'm going to treat the rest of this video as just to let's figure out what happened, not a let's evaluate whether it's good. There are probably multiple paths here that are technically possible, but let's try to figure out the most logical one. And yeah, just have fun treating this as a puzzle. We know Smokes must have played 7, because 7 was not cannot be flipped by the card in 8. So there is no way Turdz could have played it, and it ends up Smokes' color. So Smokes must have played 7. Now, if you're going to sequence going in a queue, and one of your moves is in a corner, it's very likely the first move. Because if you go in a corner and they go next to it, you're likely playing in that side, especially because the other side, the remaining side, especially because we know Smokes set up those squares. So if Smokes went in 7 and Turdz went in 8, Smokes probably didn't go in 3, he probably went in 6. If Smokes went in 7 and Turdz went in 3, again, Smokes didn't play in both corners. There's a bunch of ways to play here where you play both of the remaining side moves. There's a bunch of ways to play where you play a corner and a side, but in very few do you play the two corners. Now, if he did play the two corners, he could have started 6-1, 6-8 in 3, then gotten comboed in 6 and gone in 7. But this makes no sense. This is just silly. He could have started in 7 and then Turdz went in 8 and he went in 3. But this just wouldn't flip much back, and we should be pretty confident he had something for 6. So I think there is very little chance that at any point in this Smokes went in 3. And if you go in 7 and 8 or 7 and 6, odds are you played 7 first. So what I'm saying is, I think we know Smokes played 7, and most likely he played it immediately. It's also a very reasonable move to make immediately, because it gets rid of all the combo potential through 4. Now, looking at the other cards played, we know 2 of 6-1, 6-8, 7-3, 6-7, and 6-1, 8-7 must be in Turdz' hand. We know he has used 2 of his 8-7 or 8-8 cards. He's used 7-5-3-8 and 8-8-3-1, so we can only have 1 remaining. So we know Turdz can't have played both 2-8-8-5 and 6-1-8-7, though we knew that anyway. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is... What am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think Smokes definitely played in 7, locking in 4. Now, if Turdz played in 8, but 8 seems like a card from Smokes' hand. And the reason I think that is because 7-5-3-8 was played in 9. Smokes was the one who set that up, and that sets up 6-1-8-7 both ways. Now, it could be that Smokes has a card in his hand that really pays off for that. And it could be he had 2 cards combining for it, like 6-1-6-8 and some other card. But I think 6-1-6-8 was from Turdz' hand, so I think 6-1-8-7 is very likely to be from Smokes' hand. The argument against that, though, is would he run 6-1-7-8 and 5-3-8-6 and 2-8-8-5? That's a lot of down power, but I would assume his remaining cards, we know one is 7-5-3-8 and the other's upright. Here's what I think. I'm spending a lot of time just babbling. I think Smokes played 2-8-8-5 and 7. Turdz went 6-1-6-8 and 3. He didn't have something good to put in 8 immediately. And then Smokes had to make a guess which is better, 6 or 8. And I think he guessed 8, and Turdz had the card for 6, not for 8. But for this to work, Turdz must have been really dead in 8. So Turdz could have, in that case, played, instead of 6-1, 6-8, and 3, 6-1, 6-8, and 8. He was just really scared of getting comboed back, having 7-3, 6-7 being kind of dead. That card's not so dead, though. It can hit anything but an 8 facing up. So this move order may not make a ton of sense. But what else makes sense? If Turdz started, if Smokes started in 3, Turdz isn't going to play 8 there. And if he did, you can't get the game situation. So if Smokes started in 3, Turdz played 6, and then Smokes played 7, just accepting he was lost. But that would mean Smokes never had anything for 8, because if he has something for 8, he plays it. Maybe he really thinks Turdz must have a card for 7 at the end, but you have to play 8 there, because playing 7, you're just already down. You're just already down. So you have to play 8. So that makes no sense. So Smokes can't have started in 3. If Smokes started in 6, he got comboed, but then he has to play 8, not 7. It's just so all the other options, I think, basically... Ooh, what if Smokes started in 8? If Smokes started in 8, out of the queue, so we're going... I've been talking about this position. If Smoke started an 8 with 6187, he flips everything. And if Turdz has something for 7, it must be comboing, basically. I mean, there could be an 8 to the right that doesn't combo, but it's just very likely to combo stuff, and Smoke's plan is presumably to combo back in 6. Maybe the order that happened here. No, but this can't lead to the final game position. No, I think the order has to be 7-3-8-6, in which case Turdz actually won a 50-50 guess, which he has claimed he never wins. I'm probably wrong here. Let me know what actually happened on this one. And we'll end this video and move on to the third recording I got of Turdz Smokes, and we'll see how that one goes.